नमस्कार दोस्तों। आज के वीडियो में वील बी लुकिंग एट पीपल्स रेसिस्टेंस अगेंस्ट द ब्रिटिश एंड the factors responsible for the people's resistance is that first is the colonial revenue settlements, colonial land revenue settlements. They put a heavy burden of taxes, new taxes, and evictions of peasants from their land. Okay, we know that there were mainly three types of revenue systems. Mahalwari was there, and Raitwari was there. Raitwari was there, and Zamindari systems were there in three different parts of the country. Okay, and these revenue systems actually put a burden or a big toll on the people, and this was one of the factors that is responsible for the people's resistance. The second is the growth of intermediary revenue collectors, which is zamindari people there, and also there were other revenue collectors and tenants and money lenders. That is a second factor. Then the third factor is expansion of revenue administration over the tribal lands. And the fourth factor is the destruction of indigenous industry and the promotion of British manufactured goods. We know that during that time, most of the clothes that Indians used were manufactured by them or in a cottage industry, and this was destroyed. And what happened? British mill-made clothes or industrial goods came into being. It actually flooded the markets. Okay, and the end of patronage of priestly and scholarly class. Okay, after the end of the Mughal Empire or other princely states, there was a lot of artisans there, bulky and scholars and also court poets. These people were left without any job. Okay, okay, they were not patronized by the British, so they lost their job. And the fifth and the last reason is the foreign character of the British rule. Okay, that are the main six reasons. So this is the sixth reason, foreign character of the British rule. So that are the six reasons and forms of people's uprising. First, there were civil uprisings. Then peasant movements were there, tribal movements were there, and also military revolts. Military revolts, we know that 1857 was there. Other types of mutinies were there. Tribal revolts, we know about Santal movements. Peasant movements, also we have Champaran movement uh, as an example. So these are some of the movements. So first moment that we'll be looking at is the Sannyasi revolt. Sannyasi revolt took place between 1763 to 1800. The disastrous famine of 1770 and the harsh economic order of the British compelled a group of सन्यासी सन्यासी तो साधु साधु बोलता है कि वो हिंदू धर्म के आदमी है वो इस ईश्वर के सामने कि वो क्या बोलते हैं इस तरह के ड्रेस में कि they are religious people and they belong to the Hindu dharma. Okay, sannyasis in Eastern India to fight the British yoke. Okay, originally peasants, some even evicted from land. These sannyasis were joined by large number of dispersed small zamindars, disbanded soldiers, and rural poor. So basically, what happened? Sannyasis are seen as a role models. Okay, sannyasis are often seen as a role model in the society. Okay, they are the ideal character of a religious person. So when they themselves took to revolt against the British, what happened? They were followed by small zamindars, then disbanded soldiers and rural power. So it basically became a large movement. Okay, it was only after a prolonged action that Warren Hastings at that time uh, and with subdue he could subdue the sannyasis. Okay, he was the governor of Bengal. Equal participation of Hindus and Muslims were there, and the uprising sometimes referred to as Fakir rebellion. So it was a secular movement in which, even though it was started by sannyasis, there was a participation of the Muslims as well. Okay, the leaders were Manum Shah or Majnu Shah, then Chirag Ali, Musa Shah, Bhavani Patak, and Devi Chandrani. Okay, Devi Chandrani's participation recognizes the woman's role. So sannyasi movement, one of the first uprisings against the British government. So it showed a participation of women, that is Devi Chandrani, in the early resistance against British. Then Anand Mant, a semi-historical novel by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay was based on Sannyasi revolt. So the novel by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, Anand Mant, it was the based on Sannyasi revolt. Okay, that is it for Sannyasi revolt. Then we have Chaur uprising. Chaur uprising took place in the area of Bengal, uh, and the reason is that उस टाइम पे बहुत famine थे. Famine means drought. Okay, drought थे. And enhanced revenue system X, same as one of the main reason, the revenue systems, the revenue demands, and the economic distress grounded the Chaur Aboriginal tribesmen on the jungle mahal of Midnapur district and also of the Bankura district to take up arms. Okay, these tribes people were basically farmers and hunters. The most significant uprising was under Durjan or Durjol Singh in 1789, 1798. The term Chaur is considered derogatory in some historians who call it the people. The Chaur, that word is termed as a bad word. So what the historians did is that they call this revolt as a revolt of the jungle mal. Okay, revolt of the jungle mal instead. So this is the image of the Chaur revolt. Okay. Then Paika rebellion. Paika rebellion is very important, even it was in the current affairs. So the Paika rebellion took place in 1870. The Paikas of Odisha were the traditional landed militia. Okay, they were foot soldiers, and also they also had hereditary land and enjoyed rent-free and tenures for land tenures for their military service and policing functions on a hereditary basis. Okay, the English East India Company's conquest of Odisha in 1803 and the dethronement of the Raja of Khurda had greatly reduced the power and prestige of Paikas. Paikas were actually soldiers. So, when Odisha was conquered by British, and which in turn led to the dethronement means the Raja of Kudra was removed from the throne. He was not no longer a king. Okay, the extortionist land revenue policy of the company caused resentment among zamindars and peasants alike. Okay, that time it caused a huge wave of what do you call it? Resentment means anger. We can say anger among the zamindars and the peasants. Okay, common masses were affected by the rise of prices of salt due to tax imposed on it, abolition of cowrie currency and जो कि उसका टाइम का currency थे cowrie and the requirement of payment of taxes in silver and Bakshi Jagbantu Bidathar have been so कि इसका लीडर कौन थे वो पाइका रेबेलियन का उसका नाम था बख्शी जगबंतु बिदादर उसका ये इमेज इधर है ना कि घोड़े के ऊपर खड़ा है उसका नाम था बख्शी जगबंधु बिरादर ओके had been the military chief of the forces of the Raja of Khudra. Okay, with active support of Mukunda Deva, the last Raja of Khudra, and other zamindars of the region, Bakshi Jagbandhu Bidyadhar led a sundry army of Paikas, forcing the East India Company. So, पहले जो उन्होंने अटैक किया ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी को उस टाइम में दे वेर फोर्स टू रिट्रीट द ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी वाज फोर्स टू रिट्रीट ओके हरा दिया उनको and the rebellion came to be known as Paika Bidroh, Paika Rebellion. Okay, in mid 1817, the Paika rebels resorted to guerrilla tactics. The rebellion was brutally repressed by 1880. The Paika rebellion succeeded in getting large remissions. Okay, we need to this part we need to look carefully because Paika rebellion, even though it was a rebellion against East India Company on a large scale by a military way, but it succeeded. It was a successful rebellion. So whenever a question is asked that Paika rebellion, okay, अंत में वो it was a failure. If the option is that it was a failure, that option is wrong because it succeeded in getting a large revisions of areas and reduction in assessments and the suspension of the sale of estates of defaulters to discretion, a new settlement of fixed tenures and other adjunctions of a liberal governments को कि वो पाइकरा रेबेलियन का अंत पे ओडिशा में इट लिटरली बॉट क्या बोलते हैं उसको लिबरल गवर्नेंस लाया था वो कि पाइका रेबेलियन ओके and Wahhabi movement. Wahhabi movement, okay, it was actually a religious movement, and it cannot be actually called as part of Indian freedom struggle, but we can look into it. Okay, Wahhabi movement was essentially a Islamic revivalist movement founded by Sayyid Ahmad of Rai Bareli, who was inspired by the teachings of Abdul Wahab. Okay, इस फिगर में यहाँ पे वो मिडिल में उसका नाम था अब्दुल वहाब की सऊदी अरेबिया का आदमी थे and what he did is that he saw that there was a lot of westernization happening in Islamic religion. Okay, and he wanted to return back to the time of the prophet. Okay, so same way Sayyid Ahmad condemned the western influence on Islam and advocated a return to pure Islam and society as it was in the Arabia of the prophet's time. ठीक है, Sayyid Ahmad was acclaimed as the desired leader or imam. Okay, a countrywide organization with an elaborate secret code for its working under spiritual vice regions caliphas was set up. So कि वो बहुत connected थे and Sitana in the northwestern ट्राइबल बेल्ट was chosen as the base of operations. उसकी base of operations दे वो सिताना नॉर्थ वेस्टर्न ट्राइबल बेल्ट है वो दे उसका base of operations. Okay, in India their most important center was at Patna, though it had its missions in Hyderabad, Madras, Bengal, UP or United Provinces at that time, and Bombay. It was a largely extended movement, and their main aim was Dur al-Arab, or the territory of war and chaos. They wanted to convert it to Dar al-Islam, means land of Islam. A jihad was declared against the Sikh kingdom of Punjab. उसकी main शत्रु या कि उसकी main enemy was the kingdom of Punjab. But what happened? The Punjab was defeated by the British and it was incorporated into the East India Company territory. So after on 1849, after that what happened? English dominion in India became the sole target of the Wahhabis attacks. Okay, that was Wahhabi movement. Then we have Ho and Munta uprising. Ho and Munta uprising is also very important in a current affairs manner. क्योंकि वो भी it was also in the current affairs. Okay, Raja of Prahat organized his Ho tribals to revolt against the occupation of Silangpam, now in Jharkhand. The revolt continued till 1827, when the Ho tribals were forced to submit. However, later in 1831, they again organized a rebellion, joined by the Mundas of Chota Nagpur. So, Mundas were people who called Chota Nagpur as their homeland. Okay, they also protested against the newly introduced farming revenue policy and the entry of Bengalis into their region. Okay, Mundas in the region of south of Ranchi rose. So, उसका leader थे, Mundas का leader थे Bussa Munta. Okay, and the Ulgan was one of the most significant tribal uprising in the period of 1860 to 1920. The rebellion, which began as a religious movement, gathered political force to fight against the introduction of feudal zamindari tenures, exploitation by money lenders and forest contractors. कि बिरसा मुंडा थे उसका आदमी थे, he was actually what you can say, he was against the missionary activities at that time. कि उसके टाइम पे ज़मींदारीज थे वो हाई कास्ट लैंडलॉर्ड्स थे उस टाइम पे who exploited the Munta community. So Birsa Munta, what he did is that he came up against all this and he strengthened, as you can see in the picture, he strengthened the Munta community to fight against the British and the people who exploited them. Okay, so Mundas claimed Chota Nagpur as their area in 1879. Then we have Pagalpanthis. Pagalpanthis, their area of operation was in Bengal. Leader was Karam Shah and Tipu Shah. And reason was that there was a hike in rent. Karam Shah and his son Tipu Shah led these people to uphold their religious right and peasant right. He captured Sherpur in 1825 after standing up against oppressive taxes and laws imposed by Zamindars and British. This movement was violently suppressed. Okay. Then we have Kukka movement. Kukka movement, it was actually a Sikh movement. It was founded by Jaswant Jawahar Mal, called Saina Sahib in it was in Western Punjab. The major leader of the movement after him was Baba Ram Singh. Baba Ram Singh. He founded the Namdhari Sikh sect. Okay, after the British took over Punjab, the movement got transformed from a religious purification campaign to a political campaign. Its basic tenets were abolition of caste, similar discriminations among Sikh, then discouraging the consumption of meat and alcohol and drugs, permission for intermarriages, widow remarriage, and encouraging women to step out of seclusion. So it was actually a very good moment within the Sikh community. And even though it started as a religious movement, and after the occupation of Punjab by the British East India Company, what happened? It changed into a political movement, and they had a very liberal concept that they were seeking on removal of the caste system, and there were also against the consumption of meat and alcohol, and they were giving asking for permission for intermarriages and widow remarriage, and encouraging women to step out of seclusion. Okay, on the political side, Kokos wanted to remove the British and restore Sikh rule of Punjab. They advocated wearing hand woven clothes and boycott of English laws and education to and products. Okay, so this over here, Kuka actually showed that it was the first moment in which a Swadeshi um, movement. It was actually a first part of Swadeshi movement. Okay, in which they advocated for wearing hand woven clothes and boycott of English laws. Okay, the concept of a boycott of English laws means non-cooperation. Okay, that two parts were there. Swadeshi was also there and non-cooperation were there in the Kukka movement. Okay, the concept of Swadeshi and non-cooperations were propagated by Kukas much before they became part of the Indian national movement in the early 20th century. So Kukas were they laid the foundation for these two movements. Okay, we have the Santal rebellion. Santal rebellion, it was due to the continued oppression of the Santals on agricultural people who had fled to settle in the plains of Rajmahal Hills. Rajmahal Hills वो बिहार में थे, led to the Santal rebellion against the zamindars. The moneylenders who had the support of the police, among others, had joined the zamindars to subject the peasants to oppressive exactions and the disposition of the lands. The rebellion turned into an anti-British movement. Under Sidhu and Kanhu, Sidhu Kanhu they वो भाई थे, भाई थे, and they proclaimed an end to the company rule and declared the area between Bhalpur and Rajmahal as autonomous. The rebellion was suppressed in 1856. Okay, it lasted only nearly for 1 year. So these are the main locations of the revolts. Okay, when you look over here, we have the Fakir and Sannyasi rebellion near to Bengal. Okay, वो Bengal में थे, and then Farsi movement was there also in Bengal. Then Indigo rebellion, we have only looked into the main categories of the moments. And we have Wahhabi movement also over here. We know that even though it was actually the main base of activity was in Patna. Okay, these are some of the locations of the movement. Anyway, when in the next video we will be looking at the revolt of 1857. That time we will be looking into the map in a large and detailed manner. So I hope today's lecture was productive for you guys. See, until we meet again, God bless you all. Jai Hind.